If you haven't begun planning for the new year, that's okay. Time is a construct and it doesn't matter what day it is to decide to make a change. But if you're looking to make a change, you have to make a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So let's get clear about what exactly you want. Think of your ideal dream self. It could be you in a year, you in 5 years, you in 10 years. What kind of person are you? What's your average day look like? Your ideal future dream self and who you are now are not two different people. They just have different habits. You see, when you're trying to accomplish a goal or change your habit, there are two ways of doing things. Changing your circumstances to change your identity, and changing your identity to change your circumstances. Let me explain. If I wanted to start working out, I might go out and buy new workout clothes. Maybe I'd sign up for a fancy gym and order new running shoes. I think to myself, ugh, I'm so lazy and I hate working out, but I spent all this money on workout things. I better put it to use. What will usually eventually happen is the novelty of new clothes and new shoes and the new gym will wear off, and I'll let myself slack a little bit, and the habit of working out will never pick up steam. My circumstances didn't change my identity. But on the flip side, I decide I'm a healthy, active person. It doesn't matter what clothes I have. It doesn't matter if I have a gym membership. I constantly think, what would a healthy, active person do? Because that's who I am. I take the stairs instead of the escalator. I go for a run after work. I bring my water bottle with me everywhere to stay hydrated, because that's what a healthy, active person would do, and that's who I am. My identity, therefore, changed my circumstances. In other words, fake it till you make it. Another exercise I like is looking at your current average week and your ideal average week, comparing them and figuring out what you can do more and less of. Let's take my average week before I decided to make a change as an example. I am currently a house manager, so I have a certain amount of clients that I'm obligated to, and that takes up most of my time, but not all of it. Now, usually I'd get home around 3, make a snack, and watch TV and scroll on my phone until my boyfriend came home around 7. Then we'd figure out what we wanted for dinner and watch more TV before getting into bed. Then I'd scroll on my phone for about an hour and go to bed. I was not living how my ideal self would live. Now let's go over what my ideal self would do. My dream self is a content creator and an actor. She makes good money and has a Pinterest-worthy home. She works out and eats healthy and has hobbies that don't involve technology, like reading and crafting. She takes good care of her hair and skin and knows how to put an outfit together. She prioritizes mental health by journaling, meditating, and EFT tapping. Now that is just skimming the surface, but you get the picture. Now here's the interesting part. Most of what I just said is within my control right now. I want to be a content creator and actor, but I wasn't creating content and I wasn't doing anything for acting. I wanted to work out, but I wasn't. I wanted to have hobbies, but I didn't. As Jen Sincero puts it in her book, You Are a Badass, you need to go from wanting to change your life to deciding to change your life. So let's go over my average week now. I still have my normal work obligations because I want to pay rent. But when I get home, I usually change into workout clothes. I find if I have the habit of putting on workout clothes, the actual working out comes with it. I'll do admin tasks like editing or planning content. Then I'll bring out my walking pad and walk on the treadmill. I usually put on my favorite show to make it a bit more enjoyable. Then depending on my energy levels, that's usually followed by a weightlifting video. After my shower, I have free time. And then before bed, instead of scrolling, I journal and then I read. It's little habits that are compounding that are turning my current self into my dream self. If you're more interested in curating your habits, I definitely recommend the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. I try and read that book at least once a year. There's this quote that I'm not quite sure where I heard it, but it's essentially, you can do it all, just not all at once. And this sentiment is reflected in my other favorite productivity book, The 12-Week Year. It essentially takes the novelty and excitement of the new year and manipulates it to your advantage. So you're not waiting a full year for that excitement. And in my opinion, setting a whole bunch of goals for an entire year is a bit overwhelming and unsustainable. When I was doing my 2026 planning, I was doing my 2026 Q1 planning. So I only worried about and made goals for January through March. Then at the end of March, I'll check in and do the same thing for April through June. But depending on when you're seeing this, you can do it for whenever you'd like. And when I was doing my Q1 planning, I didn't try and change every facet of my life. I thought about the most important things I wanted to change and only focused on those. For me, the main ones were posting every day on TikTok, reading before bed, and working out 5 times a week. The secondary goals were getting back into acting class, posting bi-monthly on YouTube, and journaling before bed. Next quarter, if these habits stay solid, I'll probably incorporate cooking or more beauty regimens, but I'll worry about that at the end of March. For now, I'm keeping focused on just the few key things that I mentioned. There's something called the Wheel of Life, and essentially you take stock of different categories of your life and figure out what is doing well and what needs work. I invite you to do that just because it's helpful to kind of check in with the different areas of your life and figure out what needs work and what needs attention. And those are the things you should focus on for the 12 weeks. I also invite you to pick up a copy of the 12-Week Year, but here is a little something that I picked up from the book. Dreams should be big. Goals should be small. Not small in terms of impact, small in terms of doable. And they should also be quantifiable and in your control. It's the difference between I want 5,000 followers and I want to post every day. Or I want to work out more versus I want to work out 5 times a week. Within my control and quantifiable. Now, you don't need to buy anything for this to plan out your year, but I do think you need a method of tracking. I just think it's necessary to make sure that you're sticking with your goals and staying on track. You can do this with a journal or a planner, but I'll show you what I'm doing, and it's actually really working for me. I got a trifold poster board and printed out the months of 2026. So depending on when you're seeing this, you can print out whatever months you want. I'll leave the website that I use down below. It was completely free. Next, I wrote out my 3 main goals on sticky notes, each with a corresponding colored marker, and put them at the top of my Q1 column. And at the end of every day, I mark with a dot matching the corresponding color if I did that habit or not. I also track my acting classes and my YouTube videos on here, but you can customize it however you need. It's so fun, in my opinion, to mark with a little dot, and it's that extra bit of motivation I need to just keep me going and staying on track. It's like getting a gold star. It's just fun. Check in often, ideally every day, with your habits and goals just to make sure that they're on track and they don't fall to the wayside. Okay, I threw a lot of info at you, so I hope it wasn't too overwhelming. I'll leave some resources and info and the names of the books again in the description down below. I also want to quickly say it took me a long time to get to a place where I'm making these changes. I've dealt with a lot of mental health issues. A lot. And there was truly a point in my life where I felt like I was underwater just every day. So the thought of this was way too overwhelming. Everyone's life circumstances are different, so I want you to give yourself grace. No matter what, I'm proud of you. Honestly, just the fact that you got to this part of the video is an accomplishment and shows that you want better for yourself. So you got this. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'm excited to see what we accomplish. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.